Okay, call the meeting to order. Okay, first item, approve the minutes of March 29th. I believe that was what, a special meeting, wasn't it?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 29th special meeting minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? Okay, Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
No?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now the April 12th, I believe that's our regular commission meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the April 12th minutes.
Okay. Have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion on those? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
Aye.
aye. Okay, then the 26th, that is a special meeting.
I move that we approve the minutes for April 26th.
Second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Aye. And then the 28th, that was the refunding bond or whatever.
Correct.
Minutes. So I'll move that we approve those minutes.
Second that.
Any further discussion on those? Keith?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, the financial statements. Do we have a chance to go through those?
Make a motion to approve the financial statements.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any questions or comments on the financial statements? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Recommendation for seasonal employee?
I think our recommendation is to, I don't know, did we already go through Zach Shell?
Yep.
Right, we did that
Okay.
at one of those meetings.
Would recommend that Alan Johnson be hired. He was interviewed and thought it was a pretty good deal. He realizes that it's not going to be a situation where they're going to be working together a lot and they're going to be expected to get work done.
Is he 18 or?
Yeah, he's 18, I believe, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
18.
That's the main
Yeah.
thing, they gotta be
Yeah.
18, so.
Yep.
So, okay, well, you guys interviewed him, so yeah.
And did you say the rate?
What was that again? 14?
So did you make a motion or did you?
I move that we hire Alan Johnson at $14 an hour for this summer seasonal employee.
I'll
Second.
Okay, any discussion on this? Is he high school, college?
He just graduated.
Oh, just graduated?
Okay.
Very good. I have no idea who he is, so. Okay.
He's a good kid. Man.
You know what? If he wants to work, he's a good kid.
Yep.
No?
Any further discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, Rochelle?
You can swap.
Okay. Okay, it says reading of pet ordinance, do we want to do that or do we want to wait? You sure can, get it over with.
We have to read the whole thing again?
Unfortunately, there's corrections, so I would say we probably have to. Don't we, Joan?
Can't we just approve it with the correction?
You've done that in the past. That's up to you.
Well, I guess, you know, what we did was we approved the first reading with the corrections. I guess we can ask for a motion to waive the reading.
I'll make a motion to waive the reading of the pet ordinance with the corrections that have been done. Is that what?
I believe we can do that. Can we, Joan? Yeah. I believe, okay. Right, we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any discussion on that?
Will it be on the website so we can read them?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay, that's the waiving of the reading. We still have to approve the second.
Who seconded?
Dwayne.
When you did it. Okay, we still have to approve the second reading then. So I will motion that we approve the second reading of the pet ordinance.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, aye. All right, cool. So basically it'll be, what's next has to be published, and then
Mhm.
after that, then it goes into effect, correct?
Correct. And the entire ordinance isn't published, it's just the finding part of it. There's a portion of it is.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. 2017 police contract.
Just for information, the amount for the police contract is the same as the current contract for 2016. I don't have the numbers.
And when do we have to have this signed by, just by the end of the
147.
year, or what?
Yeah, they generally like them here in the next couple months. They send them out so commissions can begin to review them, and if you have any questions, we can always invite the sheriff to come down and discuss, give an update on what's going on in the law enforcement department, and you're welcome to ask any questions or.
Sure. Well, I think
Other
one thing that,
information.
I think one thing that we're gonna have to, make sure is, and I realize deputies don't like going out and handling animal calls, but, because we've had some residents that were pretty ticked off, because they weren't treated with the respect they thought they should have had.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make, other than that, I don't know, I think they do a pretty good job. So you guys wanna hold off on accepting that, or what do you wanna do?
I'll make a motion that we accept the 2017 police contract.
Second.
Okay. Is there any further discussion on that?
Now that went up how much more?
It didn't
It
go up,
didn't go
it
up
stayed
at all.
the same.
Did the same.
It ain't gonna get no cheaper if we wait either, so it is.
So-
I'll just add during discussion, we can always ask Sheriff Bursman to come in and talk to us at any point if we have anything. He's always very good about, coming if we need something, so.
Did you find it there, Dwayne? It's $147,549.
It gets me about, why does each deputy get a car in front of his house?
I actually think that's a good deal because it's, someone sees a cop car and they're like, I'm gonna slow down. I know at the end, when they have a cop car at the end of Main, that helps kind of control traffic a little bit when they see something like that, instead of having it sitting in a garage somewhere.
Well, and then if someone gets called out, they don't have to go and run to the department first to get the equipment they need.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm
It's
sure they
come down
do
to
get called
safety.
out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And working 12-hour shifts, it's not set hours, so, yeah. It's
They
important
also
that they
have
check
the
around.
AEDs with them, so they're there, I like that.
Yeah. Any other questions or discussion on that? Nothing? Okay, Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Well,
Aye.
Dwayne?
Aye.
Aye. Designation of official newspaper. Oh, we do that now? Okay.
Do I get a vote?
No. I'll move that we designate the Leader News as the official newspaper for the city of Washburn.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
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 Aye. Records retention and archiving of city documents.
We are As we have talked before, we're running out of space because we have so much paper. We have records from the 70s. So through the League of Cities, they have lots of information and information about records retention. And so Sharon has been going through figuring out exactly what we can throw, and we have found out that we can throw and or shred quite a lot of different things. But we are going to be slowly going through the documents that we have, and some of the things they say that we can throw or shred if we feel that it's important for city historical purposes or whatever, we will keep. But we just wanted to let you know that we will begin that process of cleaning some of that stuff out.
Like how many years do you plan on going back, or, you know, or starting from when to
It's
when?
mandated how many. I think like the financial records and some of that is supposed to actually be archived in Bismarck. It's supposed to go to the state archival. But we have some of the other stuff, I think it goes about 8 years out is the most that it
A lot of
goes
it's
out.
8 years.
What's that?
A lot of it's 8 years.
Yeah.
You have to keep most things for 8 years.
Yep.
Yeah. We really have stuff from the 70s, huh?
Yeah, so I think 70s, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
We might need to buy another shredder. A lot of it's actually, a lot of the paper that we have are like the old paper water bills that we used to fill out when we self-reported. You know, we still have every one of those for however long. So all that just that kind of stuff, that'll clean us up a little bit around here.
I mean, I guess as long as you guys, you know, have time during your day to do that, but, you know, that would be fine. But, I mean, I wouldn't call it a super priority, but if there's time, sure. Yeah. Sure. Any comments, questions?
It's just for your information.
Okay. Stephen Vogel, something,
That's-
refinancing bonds?
Vogel pool, that's actually be bumped to May 16th meeting, so. And that will just be the finalizing of the information that you did last week when we refinanced those bonds.
Oh, that, he's with Mike with his, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
see.
with Mike Master.
Mr. Jasper?
Well,
Got a quick question for you on this.
sure.
Going through that. Now, this is for like the 2014 street and utility improvement project. You know, basically, as far as preliminary engineering, I'm assuming 80,000 was what was budgeted, right?
Yeah.
And this is what was remaining, that's what's been spent, that was what was remaining?
Yep.
So, was this amount subtracted off the final?
Absolutely. Like total project cost?
Right.
And what was assessed to everyone?
Yes.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
all these
Oh, yeah.
were off, so there's like $200,000 here that has all been taken off of that.
Yeah, yep.
But then I see now we're having a $600 bill for that, for something that's been done on that project, so.
Right, and anything that would come up during warranty throughout this whole year would still get billed to this, you know, under the warranty phase or construction, yeah.
Well, my question is, you know, all these remainings have all been subtracted off
Yep,
the project.
yep.
Okay. You couldn't tell by looking at that, you know, without asking.
Yep, no, and, yeah, this has nothing to do really with what, you know, what Joan puts together to be assessed. It's, you know, that's why it's, you know, it's kind of difficult to say this is gonna be the exact number, you know, when we do things on an hourly basis.
Well, I understand that, but like I said, I was just wondering if that was, if that was subtracted off or not.
Yep, it definitely is.
So you just use the exact numbers. Very good. Okay.
Guess the main thing I here tonight to discuss was the bid opening we had last week.
Do you have an extra?
Yep, absolutely. I'm gonna be honest, these are probably the best bids I've been a part of in my career, so I think that's all very positive and very competitive market out there. I knew we were gonna get good bids, but, I had anticipated it to be in the 2.4 to 2.5. You know, even though my engineer's estimate was 3, but I had like 10% contingencies in there. So I was hoping for something like 2.5, but to get 2.13 is really good. And I guess with that, you know, tonight you would make a motion to award the project to Wagner Construction, the lowest bidder. We technically have 3 resolutions to go through, you know, one for each district, I guess.
We don't have to award Wagner, do we?
I don't know that you have, given that you're using state funding to fund these projects, I don't think you have much of a choice, but that's maybe a better question to your city attorney, but.
Do you know something about Wagner we don't, or?
No, I thought it got said before that, you know, we didn't have to go to the lowest bidder.
There are ways around it, but when you're using, you know, those public available funds to finance your projects, you know, through state or federal financing, whatever it may be, they kind of scrutinize that very, very heavily. We actually, Wagner is finishing up a couple projects that I was doing with them in partial. As a company, they had some real big projects in Washburn City last year. They were unsuccessful in bidding a couple of the big projects that we bid out in Washburn City this year, so I know they were hungry to, you know, keep working here in North Dakota.
So you dealt with them and you like their work and?
Yep. Absolutely.
So we need to move to accept them, is that correct?
Yeah, so we'll just do one resolution awarding contract for the Washburn Street Improvement District number 2016-1 to Wagner Construction for $1,206,213.40. That's not the total, that's just for the street district.
So moved.
Okay, I'll second that. So basically, this is for the street now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have a motion to accept the resolution, right? Or,
Yeah.
okay.
This would be for them to do the work on the street improvement district.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that?
Completion date.
The completion dates are in October for substantial and final.
What's the start, what are they thinking?
I don't know, I knew you were gonna ask someone who's gonna answer. I will know more at the next meeting.
You got,
Where are they out of? Where are they from?
International Falls.
Okay, they're not local, but, so they're gonna fly home every weekend?
I don't know.
I was just curious about that.
My other dealings with them were, they had a crew that worked 10 on, 4 off, and one crew that basically worked until they couldn't work anymore.
Okay.
So it could be a month straight. So they really, it just kind of depends which crew you get.
Okay, I was just curious. Pray for no rain.
Any further discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
aye.
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 Okay, a resolution awarding contract for the Water Improvement District number 2016-1 to Wagner Construction for $390,916.50. Sorry, let me repeat that.
Yeah.
$390,916.50.
Okay, 50 cents. Gotta have that 50 cents.
I'll move. Let me accept that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on that one?
Aye.
Keith?
Aye.
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 So we have one final resolution, and that's for a resolution awarding contract for the sewer improvement district number 2016-1 to Wagner Construction for $374,662.60.
I move that we approve the contract for sewer improvement to Wagner, 2016-12.
I'll second that.
Dash 1.
Any other discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
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 So the one missing key to this, if you were doing quick math, it doesn't add up to the total. It's because we had Riverside Park Road also included in there, which is not, an assessed project. So I guess, I would appreciate a motion to award, the entire project, including Riverside Park Road, to Wagner Construction. Let me give you a dollar amount for what. The bid for Riverside Park Road was $163,214.50.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we award Wagner Construction the 2016 street improvement project, including Riverside Park.
Second.
Any further discussion? Keith?
We're out of,
What?
Joan, we're out of grant money for that, right?
Yep, pretty much.
What's that?
He just asked for out of grant money, those special roads funds grant. We've received 2 nice grants for the state for that.
Well, I guess my question is, what was the estimate on that?
I think it was almost double that.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure where we're gonna sit between the grant and the 1 cent sales tax money on that, because we have a grant for so much, we have $170,000 from 1 cent sales tax.
There'll be some extra from the sales tax that will go out, I think.
I know, what I'm saying is the grant was like 200 and some, right?
Up to
Right. So
But
they
it was
do like a
matching.
50%, or
60/40.
60, so, okay, so basically, there'll be quite a bit left over from the sales tax, which,
Yep, you'll have excess sales tax monies available.
okay, well, that's good to know. All right, do we have a motion, or a vote on the motion? Any further discussion on the motion? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
I guess I'm just looking for everyone's, or a motion for permission to advertise for the seal coat project. Probably won't advertise until next week, but just making everybody aware that that's still, being looked at to be done this year, and I know it's a budgeted thing, and want to get that out on the street, so that we have a contractor for this. And hopefully that paving contractor is one that does seal coat also.
Make a motion for the engineer to request bids for the 2016 seal coat project.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that? Everybody knows that's paid for out of, what was that? Was that surge money we spent for that?
Correct.
Okay. You seconded, Keith?
Yep.
Okay. Any further discussion? Anybody? Keith?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I'd like to give a quick update on the chloramine switchover. So it sounds like some people had received their notifications, and others that have PO boxes are going to receive them tomorrow. So we had initially planned to do startup on that this week, but in light of the fact that residents, just received their notifications last week, and some are going to receive receive it this week, we're gonna push that off, probably end of May, early June. Just waiting to hear back from Adam to see how he wants to proceed with that, but that's kind of where we're at. Everything's like 95+% installed and ready to go. We just need to do startup on the day of, and we'll get it going, but.
Okay. Anything else for Jasper? Thank you, sir. Got here early.
Yeah, I'll have a couple of things for the meeting on the 16th. I'd like to discuss the grant that the city had received for the intake.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You guys, the grant you guys received for the intake, I'd like to have that on the agenda. And
Okay.
I will also have you guys' SRF funding loan applications ready to sign for the 16th as well.
Okay. Awesome, thank you.
Yep.
Sales and use tax. Application of the city of Washburn. Do you have the notes on that, Joan?
I can go, what exactly do you want? Do you want the minutes?
Well, let's see. What, okay, what did we decide? I think it was, you know, the city asked for.
I have it here.
Okay.
I have the wrong minutes. Can you go grab them, please? You're interested in May 26th, 2015. Can I agree with that?
Larry, can I have you sign these notices of award?
Absolutely. Just where was this sign?
Yeah.
I would really like to get those separate numbers.
Which ones?
Oh, the separate numbers, I mean, I got Park Road one.
Oh, yeah. I'll go make a copy.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, it looks to me like, just doing some real quick figuring here, excuse me, if the grant was for 60% on that Park Road, and, you know, 40% comes from us, you know, come out of the 1 cent sales, that would be about, you know, $65,500. And, you know, we put in 172 from 1 cent sales tax into that project, so we should have about, you know, $100,000 left over from that, which might be something we can, you know, reapply for, you know, more buy down on that street project possibly. Yep.
Okay. So the application from the city of Washburn, I think you were just saying all that. City was requesting 1% funds, all 1% of the funds to be directed to the 2000 street and utility project. After discussion, the final motion was, Bickert motion to give 50% of the community development streets, because we have 3 funds in the sales and use fund. It's broken out into 3 other funds. 50% of the community development streets sales and use fund from January 1/16 to December 31st, 2017 for streets, and to reevaluate at the end of January 2016 to see if more funds can be taken to apply to the project, seconded by Olson. Does that make sense?
Yeah. My concern at the meeting is that, you know, we unanimously asked for that money 100% at our city commission meeting, and then the sales and use decided that they were only gonna give us 50%. And I'm a little concerned how sales and use, and I've talked to every single one of them, except for the one that was saying that the Washburn citizens were worthless. I didn't talk to him. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, so I was just concerned about that, you know, on our last project, and there's, you know, I realize we can read things differently. On our last project, we bought it down by 19%, one way or another. And for us to be able to buy this project down by 19%, we would need at least 80%, you know? And my concern about sales and use is we have people at sales and use talking about the feasibility of even doing the project. That's not their concern, you know? And another concern that I have is that it's specifically used for streets. We're not taking it away from playgrounds, anything else. It's supposed to be used for major projects on streets. That's what we were asking for. And my concern was is that we voted unanimously and we didn't even have a motion on what the city commission voted for unanimously. So why have public officials if we don't have a say? You know, so that was my concern. You know, and I just want to make sure that we're consistent with both projects. And I realize, you know, there might be a way where we can get the River Road money, you know, and be able to bring that in. You know, but it's the principle of the deal. You know, this is the citizens' money, and to be honest with you, they were acting like it was their money. It's not. And I don't understand how there'd be controversy about using sales and use street money for streets. You know? And let's say we overpay this project by a little bit compared to the other project. You know, it's better than not doing enough. You know? And that's my concern.
Well, you know, from what I got out of it, you know, and I mean, I was hoping for, you know, more than this, but, and I'm on the 1 cent sales tax committee, by the way, but kind of what I got from it is, you know, generally when people ask for money or organizations ask for money, the money is already in the coffers to be about. And this is money that we don't have yet, and I think, you know, except for maybe one of them, or maybe two, that, you know, they were concerned that, you know, that who knows what's going to come in the future. You know, let's commit so much for now and then see what it looks like, you know, in January.
But we weren't asking for 110%. If we'd only take in $10, we'd only get $10. You know what I mean? So we wouldn't be overspending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that was a concern. And to be honest with you, when as a commission, when we unanimously voted for it, you know, when it was all said and done, I talked to every one of the members, and they were confused about, one of them said that they thought that 100% of our sales and use would be gone except for economic development, which isn't the case. You know, even if we took in 300,000 for the year, we'd still have 150,000 left, and there's still another division for infrastructure and for economic development. So it wouldn't have all been spent. So my concern is, you know, kind of the idea about democracy. You know, if we're going to have a commission and have elected officials, it has to mean something, you know? And, you know, we had people coming in here all the time saying, we better do the same thing for this project as we did for the last. Haven't you heard that? We just tried to do that. Sales and use said no.
Well, they didn't say no, they just didn't commit the whole thing right away. You know, but.
You know? So, but the funny thing about it is and not like I'm against it, but they had no trouble giving money to WIETA 100% of what they asked. And I think that's a fine thing too, but it seems like our priorities are a little messed up when, I mean, honestly, I'm a little annoyed right now because I just found out that I got a $25,000 bill as far as this last project. And if we wouldn't have, and if I was over in this group and the city puts minimal to it, and I get a bill, I'd really be upset, you know? I'm already annoyed because of what I'm getting, that's a lot of money, and especially when I didn't really have an estimate ahead of time, you know? So my point being is I just think that when we vote for things here, we really need to make sure that we push the same thing in sales and use. You know, because so that way our voices are carried through.
No, unless I'm mistaken, basically the city has to accept what sales and use recommends unless it's illegal. Is that
That's
the way
correct.
it's written, you know?
That is
and
correct.
quite honestly, sales and use is something that was voted on by the people.
The home rule charter is voted on by the people.
Oh, yeah, I realize
And
that.
it was set up, people knew what it was going to be, so.
But
And I
people
definitely
thought,
want to get.
people also thought that they were voting for the money to go to streets when it was for streets, you know? And like, for example, you know, we had that vote just now, and it's not even about the money or anything like that. It's about the principle of the matter. You know, when elected officials try to buy something down for streets, right or wrong, you know, it'd be different if we were asking for economic development money for the streets. I can understand that. But we were asking for street money for the streets,
Mhm.
and sales and use thought that they knew better than the people that got voted onto this board. Whether I was on here or not, that seems wrong.
Yeah.
You know. But is there, I mean, yeah, we can't do anything, but, I mean, can we just send it back?
We can ask for more.
You can always apply, have another application to the sales and use tax.
And also, I honestly think that, something about, you know, I've already let them know, but our displeasure about that, you know, just because if everybody in the community knew this happened, I don't think I would be the only one that would be upset, you know?
I feel compelled to say something on behalf of the volunteers that volunteered for the Sales and Use
Mhm.
Tax Committee. And I appreciate what you were saying, and I understand it, and, but those people that are on that committee, they are very good residents of Washburn. They're good people, and they are doing the best that they feel that they can. I mean, I personally do not feel that they took that decision lightly, nor do they take their role, the job of
I think
sales
I
and
think
use
they
tax
misinterpret their
lightly.
role, though, to be honest with you, and that's my opinion, you know.
I just wanted to say that on behalf of the
You know,
volunteers that do it.
They shouldn't be
Sometimes
the
it's hard.
arbitrator of what we spend our streets on or what projects we do. And it was said in that meeting, I don't even know if we should even be doing this next street project.
Well,
You know.
yeah, that wasn't
Yeah.
probably the best thing to be said, and,
You know,
but, yeah.
you know, and I'm not saying anybody's a bad person or anything, but I just feel that decision was incorrect. And I feel that, you know, we have street money, you know, they should realize that that's what it should be used for. And whether they agree or disagree with how that's being used, you know, if the public officials are saying that that's what we need it for, you know.
But the thing is, they didn't say no. You know, they just said 50% for now and reevaluate it in January, you know, to see where we're sitting.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's not like they said no. You know, they just are using caution, you know, deleting or spending all this money that we don't have yet, plus who knows what's gonna come up, you know?
But Larry, though, is you look at it, when it's all said and done, if there's nothing in there, we get 100% of nothing. We wouldn't overspend. you know, we would just spend what is there for streets, out of the street fund, that's all I'm saying. You know?
Whether it was 50,000 or 60,000, or, yeah, I mean, it's just gonna be what it is,
And for no one to motion what us unanimously agreed to, you know, it just seemed kind of strange to me. But,
Well, it was presented that that's what the city wanted at the beginning, and then the discussion went from there, so. But, no, I know. Anyway, so we need a motion to approve the 1 cent sales tax for the city project, which is, once again, 50% of the 1 cent dedicated, especially for the streets, from January 16 through December 17, to be reevaluated in January of 2017. So we'll make a motion that we accept that.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion on it? Keith?
no, just because I can't give that big speech and then go yes.
Kip?
Aye.
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 Aye. There'll be more comments. Application from Washburn Area Economic Development Association.
The Washburn Area Economic Development Association, WAEDA, is requested or applied for $50,000 for salary costs to be directed towards an executive director.
I think it was-
Motion to approve, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh.
I didn't know, I thought you were done.
Motion to approve $50,000 from the Sales and Use Community Economic Development Fund, half being paid in June of 2016 and the remainder to be paid in November of 2016. And those funds will stay in the account until they're ready to be used. Motion by Thomas, seconded by Bickert. All in favor?
What was that for?
It's for an executive director for the Economic Development Association. So it's a staffing position that they're funding.
Basically what they've been doing for the last 3 years is they've been pretty much everybody volunteering and, you know.
The board.
The board has, and then, they've been doing all this legwork and everything. It's really tough, So they want to try a director again.
They've had this once before, haven't they?
They have, but hopefully they will get a little better quality of person this time. So do we have a motion to approve the 50,000 for WEDA, for the economic development portion of the 1 cent sales tax? I'll make the motion. We approve $50,000 for WEDA.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion on that? Keith?
Aye.
Kid?
No.
No.
Aye.
No.
Yes. Okay, passed.
I don't think that's,
What's that?
nothing, don't matter anymore.
Well, legally, we have to pass it. I mean, we have to pass what they say unless it's an illegal operation, according to the rules, correct? Yeah.
The home rule charter.
So, I mean, you can still vote no, but. Okay. Portfolios.
Nope, I don't know.
Okay, Kit?
Nothing.
Noel? Dwayne?
How many more meetings do I gotta go to?
Let's see.
Well, you're going to 2 a month now.
Yeah.
I think 3.
I don't have it tonight.
Unless you're reappointed.
Unless you're appointed, yeah. Okay, I don't have anything
I don't
either.
like handcuffs.
Anything from the crowd, George?
The status on the turkeys, did the game and fish ever come and get some? Cause it looked like we got more. I don't know how, but we
They,
did.
they actually tried trapping for about a month.
They did, and do we know how many they got?
They didn't get any, none would come under the net.
That's why we gained.
Yep,
Okay,
some
I
of
was just
the,
curious.
some of the new guys, the babies, teenagers would go under the net, but the old ones just stood back and said, go ahead and go, see
Okay,
what
I was
happens.
just curious.
So, they said they are willing to come back again next year, and they'll
Okay.
try to get them a little bit more tamer before they come out, so.
Just have a turkey feed.
I have a couple other things that I remembered. You guys were talking about summer help. I just wanted to let the council know that I hired a local kid to help with the project this year, Caleb Weisgerber. Gart.
Yeah.
Yeah, however you pronounce that.
And what is
So,
his job duty?
He'll be out in the field helping Eric.
Is he like a college student or something, or?
Yeah, well,
High
he
school
will be.
senior.
Yeah.
Oh,
So kind of a less expensive option to help out for a while.
Does he know anything about what he's supposed to be doing?
Eric will make sure he knows what
Okay.
he needs to know.
You're gonna train them on
Yeah.
public relations, because people are gonna come up and say, what's going on here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, if he doesn't handle it well.
Yeah, and Eric's really good at dealing with people in public, so I don't anticipate that being an issue. And then at one of our prior meetings about the project, we did get some feedback from the one resident about not publishing the bids that we received on the project, so I know we gave her the sheet that shows them, so if somehow that could make it better, that would be
Yeah.
awesome. That's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you. Turk?
We need to get a chipper. This one we got isn't gonna cut it.
We'll look at that. I mean, I'll come and look at it. Whatever.
One other thing, did we talk before in our next budget,
Thank you.
possibly, Memorial Hall roofing?
That's why I asked how many meetings I had left.
Okay. I thought you mentioned that before.
No, other than that, there's some more, a couple more items I'd like to bring. But we only budgeted 10,000, right?
And we took some for the floor.
Right.
Right.
But
We're gonna have to budget for next year,
Okay.
for other projects, like the roof needs paint, needs some landscaping along this parking lot to keep the water out of the basement. I can't think of. It needs work, but we're gonna have to put it in the budget.
Okay.
I'll come up with a list.
Okay.
That's why I asked how many meetings.
Anything else, Turk?
No, not that I can think of.
Sharon? We shouldn't consider steel for that Memorial Hall roof.
Can you do that? You can? Okay.
What's flat? I mean,
Then you wouldn't have to worry about it again, right? So, one of the things on something like that, should we kind of take care of that ahead of time, so we know what bids approximately would be, so that way we know how much to budget?
Yeah, it's something we can check into, you know, get a price, you
Yeah.
know, materials and stuff like that. Write that down.
Because that's gonna be a pretty big amount, I would think.
I can check with Wagon Wheel, because they sell metal roofing.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If you do that, that'd be great.
And we could probably do something about that, help with that drainage, you know, as we're doing the alley right there or the streets right there, they're gonna be taking a lot of material out of the streets
Right.
and, you know, they have to put it in a truck and haul it somewhere and dump it, so if we're just gonna put it right there, it might be a easy way for them to get rid of a little bit of material.
Sure.
Needs to be landscaped there, because the gutters, everything's just dumping right by the building.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting them parking barriers, you know,
Mm-hmm. Concrete, yeah.
so people don't drive in the gutters, and then, so you can move.
never
So we
happens.
can- so we can move it about 8 feet out.
It'd be nice if that was all paved in there, and then you could, nobody drive in there and be a place to walk, and, yeah.
It pave the width of a paver,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
and then,
Maybe Jasper can throw that in.
Donation.
yeah,
I was trying to throw in some material.
just on the parking lot side. That's where the water's coming in.
Joan, did you have any?
I do, just in, also with Memorial Building, the floor is going to be redone in July. And so we are going to need to find some floor coverings to put over the top of the floor. So, I guess we'll gather some information together, but that is something that I think we will have to commit to probably soon, so we can get those ordered and get some protection on the floor for after it's done.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, you know, I mean, we're gonna be short on our budget anyway because of that, the state money, so I guess, you know, we'll see what it costs, but,
Yeah.
you know, we go from there. What else, Joan?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else, anyone? Okay, bills? We'll pay bills this time, don't worry. Say something. Everybody have a chance to go through the bills?
There was just, in the bills, there was just one, I had a transposition error. The last time I paid 82S, so they were 180 some dollars short. Something, it was supposed to be 2,200 and I put 22 or something, so there is an extra check for the one invoice to cover the turnaround in the numbers.
Okay.
I'll move that we pay bills.
Do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Keith?
Aye.
Good.
Aye.
Rob?
Aye.
Fine. Aye. Okay, nothing else? Meeting adjourned?
50 minutes.
I just need all of you to sign down here. This is